In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make $26,000 a month as a personal trainer. My name is Michael, I build multiple six-figure businesses, and now I help other people do the same. Now, there are a few ways you've probably been told how you can make money as a personal trainer. The first way is to simply get more clients. Just get more clients, bro, then you'll make more money. So simple. Why didn't you think of that? Well, to be fair, that advice isn't technically wrong. You will make more money if you get more clients, but you aren't going to make 20K plus per month. And the second you get sick or take a vacation or miss a session, then your income drops to zero, which definitely isn't ideal. Now, some people say that you just need to charge more. Raise your rates, dude. Add $10 a session and it'll add up over time. The problem is clients start pushing back, you start losing clients, and this still isn't going to get you to 20K per month. If you break it down, there are only 168 hours in a week. So even if you train 40 clients at $100 an hour, that's only $4,000 per week before taxes, rent, or food, and you're basically maxed out. Like maybe you could work a little more, but finding 40 plus clients to pay you $100 an hour consistently is almost impossible. So what some people will say is you just need to open your own gym. If you just open your own gym, that's the dream. That's the big goal that people like to tell personal trainers. Open your own studio and then you'll make a ton of money. But the issue with that is running a gym is an entirely different business. Sure, on paper, a gym is pretty simple. You buy a building, you buy some weights, and people pay you to use them. But in reality, you have to deal with constant customer churn, employees, insurance, upkeep, rent, plumbing, and all of the other issues that come with running a physical business. Most personal trainers all make the same mistakes. The reality is, even if some personal trainers earn slightly more or have more clients or have better clients, they all follow the same structure, which stops them from making real money. I know this chart isn't the most accurate, but for the sake of an example, personal trainers are pretty much capped at making $30 an hour to maybe $200 an hour maximum. And let's be real, it's hard to keep a calendar full of people who are going to pay you $200 an hour as a trainer. Now, because all personal trainers have the same structure, most of them can't even do 10 or 15K per month consistently, let alone doing 20 or 30. But this isn't because they're bad trainers. It's because the structure of their business is fundamentally broken. If you want to actually make serious money as a personal trainer, you need to reframe the way you run your business. And the way to do this is by adding in some form of online consulting offer that's targeted for a specific group of people. Adding in some sort of online element to your service is the only way to make a lot more money without having to work a lot more hours. By adding in an online offer, you're able to help multiple people at once, which allows you to make way more money for each hour that you work. And to be clear, this doesn't mean you need to become some cringy influencer. It just means you need to learn how to get free leads online and how to build a coaching offer that allows you to grow. What people don't realize is that if you have a specific niche that you're helping and you have the right packages in place, you can make tens of thousands of dollars while still only getting a few hundred views per video. And the reason why is because even though you are only getting a few hundred views, those viewers are the exact target audience who are looking to pay for your services. This is how personal trainers are making 20, 50, and even 100K per month, even while only having a small audience. For example, this dude right here is only getting a few thousand views per video, and I guarantee you he's making at least 30K per month. His videos aren't super high production, they're literally just him sitting down and talking, and he follows the same format in almost every single video. The same thing goes for this guy. Most of his videos are only getting a few thousand views, with the exception of a few outliers, but if we take a look at his school community, he's making over 6K per month, and that's assuming that he doesn't have any upsells. Again, super simple content, literally just sitting down in a room talking to a camera. The process to build this type of business is super simple, and I'm going to break down the exact framework to follow so you can actually do it for yourself. So to start with, you need to become clear on who it is that you're even helping. The first step to making real money as a trainer is solving a specific problem for a specific type of person. A mistake a lot of trainers make is trying to help everyone in hopes of getting more clients, but the problem with targeting everyone is it prevents you from having any real specialty. which is crucial if you want to actually make more money. If you stop and think about it, people choose to get in shape for a variety of reasons. Someone who's an ex-athlete is going to have different goals than someone who's a businessman. And someone who's a businessman is going to have different goals from a stay-at-home mom. Realistically, there's a ton of different angles that you can take, but you need to find a specific client that you can help. By narrowing in on a specific problem you solve for a specific person, you're able to build authority since that's what you specialize in. You know their exact problems, you know the exact solutions, and you know the goals and fears that they have that actually motivate them. Not only that, but this is also how you get paid more. People will always pay more for someone who specializes in something simply for the fact that they have expertise. I grew up skateboarding, and in my town, there was a personal trainer who always helped athletes specifically. So whenever any athletes needed help training, they would pay more to go to that person specifically rather than another trainer who would help anyone. And the reason why is because that person had expertise. This doesn't mean that the other trainers weren't also good. I'm sure many of them were. But the point is that they weren't specialized, so people just didn't prefer them. As much as you want to, you really can't serve everyone. Also, when it comes time to finding leads, the more specific you are, the easier it is for you to target people. Once you actually know your niche, getting leads gets really simple because you actually know who you're talking to. You don't need fancy ads. You don't need a million views on your videos. You just need content that helps your target audience. Most personal trainers rely solely on word of mouth, but unfortunately, that's not going to be enough to actually grow your business. Word of mouth is great. You will get some great quality leads that way, but it just doesn't scale. If you want to make real money, you're going to have to accept that you need to make content. It doesn't have to be cringy, it doesn't have to take a lot of time, and it doesn't even have to be super high production. Literally, you can just sit down and film a video with your phone, something like this, and as long as the content is good and actually helps people, I promise you they will watch it. The entire goal of posting content is simply to give away as much free value as possible in order to get more leads. It works best if you do this on YouTube since you do want to be posting long form videos, but regardless if it's on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, you just need to be making videos that help people as much as possible. I think a lot of people complicate this, especially if they haven't made content before, but you can literally just talk about people's problems, talk about the solutions, or talk about your own experience, or whatever it may be, but you just need to find a way to give people free value. And in return for doing this, a certain number of them are going to be happy to pay you for one-on-one coaching. This is how the entire lead funnel works. You should be posting content to help people, which we just talked about. Then you give them a call to action. So for example, I do one-on-one consulting. So I would tell you to click the link in the description to see if I can help you. From there, you have a website set up where they can learn more. Then you get them booked on a call. And finally, if it makes sense, then you close them as a client. Yes, there is a little bit more involved, but it's a pretty straightforward process. People really overcomplicate this, and I get it. It can seem like a bit overwhelming at first, but I promise you, content doesn't have to be that difficult. Now, once you learn how to get views, you need to make something that's actually worth paying for. And this is where most trainers blow it. They focus way too hard on selling workout sessions instead of focusing on what people actually care about. What people care about aren't workout sessions or meal plans. What they care about are the actual results. So in order for this to work, you need to create a results-based offer that you can sell for at least $3,000. Not $100, not $500. You need to be selling it for a minimum of $3,000. Now, you might think this isn't possible or people won't pay that, but I promise you they will and they do. What you have to realize is that you aren't actually selling fitness coaching. What you're selling is the solution to one of the biggest problems that people have in their entire life. Getting in shape is one of the most important things anyone can do for their health and overall life quality. So if you can guarantee their success and you can show proof that you know what you're doing, then people will gladly pay you for that. And the thing is, you don't need a huge audience in order for this to work. If you sell a coaching offer for $3 to $5K each, then you only need a handful of clients in order to hit 10, 20, or 30K per month, which is exactly how these other channels that I showed you are doing it. Yes, you do need to create an offer that actually delivers and provides value, and this is something that I help people with, but selling a package for $3 to $5K isn't nearly as hard as you might think. Instead of worrying about how you're going to convince people to pay you $3,000, worry about how you're going to get leads that will gladly pay $3,000 without needing to be convinced in the first place. If you make a strong offer where you provide good coaching, you have proof of past results, and you have guarantees that people will get what they paid for, you'll naturally attract people who are willing to pay higher prices for your help. And if you can do these things consistently, then hitting 20 to 30K per month is actually pretty easy. If you want help with any of this, click the link in the description and we'll see if it's a good fit. Either way, I still appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.